Hey everybody, ASIC Eric again, and we are picking up on the spoiler project again. So this guy sat since yesterday. It's all nice and dry now. Looks pretty reasonable. A few little pockets and stuff in it. Thanks for everybody that commented on the video and also the question on the rounding over of the corners. I don't want them rounded that much. So I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. I'm not gonna leave that quite like that. So what I'm gonna do, put this back on the car, get this stuff sanded down as much as I can. I don't want to sand the corners, as Tom said. The corners where the strength is, so you don't want to cut that. So level this off as much as I can. See how it looks. There was going to be one more layer of resin on top of this when it was done anyway. So what I'll do, I'll put the layer of resin and I'll just kind of build it up a little heavier on these corners here so that I can sand it down. So I'll sand it to the nice square edge again, and then I'll leave everything square on the car. No, I can't do that on the other one. The same thing. When I do the passenger side, I need to round the corner over when I put the cloth on, because if I leave that sharp, then when I sand it later, I'm going to cut through the cloth. So I kind of needed to do this round over like that, just not that much, potentially. Anyway, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm also debating this piece on the back of the car. Let me put it on the car, it'll be easier to see. Alright, so you can see how this is looking here. It looks real nice. Pretty happy with how that's lining up there. As you can see, the difference here, the super sharp edge and the rounded edge there. So anyway, we'll get that sorted out today. But anyway, the other issue I was talking about that I mentioned in the previous video, one of them, is you can see how much that edge is sticking out right there. So I'm debating building up this edge some more right here since I'm in here. It's okay down through here, like to about right to the corner there, and then it goes a little south. It's kind of weird. I don't understand how that is that way, because this is all nice up here, and then how this edge can be completely wrong. But it is what it is. So if I'm going to do that, then I got to go back to putting matte on again and lay a big coat of matte, out to here somewhere, because I got to feather that out. So I'm just debating whether I want to do that or not. I just screw it. I don't know. It's a lot of material again I would have to build up. Like an 1/8 of an inch there. So I'm debating that. But I'm going to go ahead and do the sanding on this first and see how that turns out, and then we'll take it from there. Alright, excuse me. Show you what we got here. So I was able to sand this down a little bit. I can't get too aggressive toward that edge there. It's fairly flat. I'm going to have some decent amount of filler feathered out there. Checking the gaps here. Good. A little bit wider at the top, but not bad. The backside's pretty good as well. This gap down here is still too big. Ideally, I would put something on this edge, because you can see how that kind of curves right there. But I don't want to put anything on this edge, because this is the movable part. So I'm going to have to go back and build this edge out a little bit. And since I have to do that, I'm going to go ahead and do this at the same time. So I can get this figured out here. So that's, I don't know if you can see that there. That's just a little over a 1/16, so probably 3/32 there. It's not a lot. I have to build that up, and this needs about 1/8 of an inch. So that's got to come out 1/8 of an inch, and this has to come this way, a little over a 1/16. So go ahead and I'll get that ready. I'll do that. I'll sand this back some more here. Figure out exactly where I need to stop. The bottom edge is pretty good here. So all in all, that looks okay. This corner's again rounded off more than it should be, so I'll build all of that up with resin when I go here. Not a lot, just it doesn't need a lot. You can see that kind of just flares right there at the end. So put a little bit more resin in here to build that up. So this thing's done for now. It needs more fiberglass, so it'll be like 4 passes on that one before that's ready. But let's go ahead and move on to the passenger side, see how that's going. All right, and on the passenger side, same thing. When you put the mat on at the edges, it tends to kind of droop. I noticed that in a few places here, so it tends to widen up at the top there. But anyway, man, that's a lot. It's still off quite a bit. I don't know what's up with that. I'm going to try and see if I can adjust this some more. And the bottom here, you see, same thing. Right at the bottom there, it's still sloppy. So I got enough built up in here, but that edge is still didn't come out enough. That's frustrating. And after all that build up on it, it still wasn't enough. So this one needs more down there, possibly more up here. Let me see if I can tweak it and get it any better than that. I got that tightened up a little bit better here. So this is a little snug in through here. It's okay at the top there now, not too bad. When I do the wrap, that will fix that. And this down here, I think, is close enough now too. So I gotta open this gap up a little bit here, make some room. And then this one hopefully will be ready for the wrap after that. And this side appears to have the same problem as the other one, although not quite as pronounced. This one's off maybe a 16th here. Bottom is alright again. So this one I think could also stand to have this edge dealt with a little bit. And this one's a little higher right here too. That's the trunk is sitting up a little bit high right there, so I don't think there's much I can do about that. So, choices, what to do. I'll think about this one some more. All right, after a little bit of fiddling, this level's okay here. It's not, this is too high, and there's not much I can do about it. I don't want to be adding a bunch of filler to this side, so that's going to be kind of what it is. And I can't really cut this down. It's too low right here, but that's okay. When we do the wrap and stuff, we can build up that. And then I think this is just good enough down here. If you look at it, it's sticking out a little bit, but not too bad. So I'm just going to leave that, I think. The wrap, again, will build that out a little bit, so we'll get some edge there and feather that back. So this guy's looking pretty good. You can see the big bulge in the center there. That's where I added on, so I've got to sand all that off now. So do that, and then this guy's ready for the wrap. All right, we are groovy here. So we have a nice 3/16 all the way through. It's a little bit large in most places, which is what I want. Backside looks good here. All the way down, it's a little bit wide right at the bottom there, so we'll try and correct both of those. And when we do the wrap, we'll try and build them up a little bit right there. So this guy's good. This guy's good. There's, ready for its next treatment. So we're going to go ahead and put the mat on this piece and this piece here. I'll go ahead and put the final, hopefully, final coat of resin? What is it, resin? Whatever. Over the edge there, and hopefully this guy's done. Still a little bit of gap there, so it should build up a little bit. That's it. So I'm not going to film the application of the fiberglass. You've seen both versions of the mat and the cloth, so I'll just do that and then I'll show you when it's all done. Alright, we'll show you where we ended up today. This is the passenger side. So I did the wrap on this, and then I couldn't really build up resin on this. It wasn't sticking, so I stuck a little more matte. The wrap went really well on this one, much better than the other side. You can hardly see the mat at all, the cloth rather. and it's nice and smooth, so that'll be easy to sand down. So this one's good. I tried to dab a little bit of resin up in this corner right here, build that up. We'll see how that worked out. And then the driver's side, there's all that mat up in there. It's hard to see, sorry. Then I tried to just take the mat and wrap it around the corner, and of course it doesn't want to wrap around the corner, so that didn't work very well. But I just took this piece of tape and mashed it down to hold it down. And then I tried to build up the resin on the edges here and mostly failed. But what I ended up doing was just dabbing it along the top and trying to build up this edge instead of trying to put it right on the edge. And I think that gave me a little more height here, which will give me a chance to be able to straighten out that edge a little bit. We'll see. This one over here, I put just the slightest little round on it, which I think is just about right. It's hard to see, I know, but it does have a little bit of a round to it. So hopefully that'll be good. Anyway, I'm probably not going to show another video until this thing's done. At least the fiberglass work. I'll come back and do a video when I get to the body filler. This is getting kind of repetitive here, so hopefully this one is ready to go after this. I just put the final coat of resin on it and it's done. And same thing over here. Hopefully this is close enough, and then we just have to come back and put the final coat of resin on it, and then it's ready for body filler. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks everybody. Take care. Talk to you later.